So today's agenda is really simple. We're going to introduce you to this new domain, and we're going to show you some nice three demos, and then we'll have a short discussion session where we can have your questions and doubts, and we can discuss them freely. So today is a big day as we're introducing a new domain in our college. So why all this? Like, why do we need cybersecurity domain in our college? Like, we already have web dev, app dev, and other domains. So why do we need a new domain, or why do we need to spread the awareness of such a domain? So as you all know that cybersecurity is one of the leading domains and most the domains most in demand in 2021. So we realized that we had lack of support in our college about this cybersecurity and ethical hacking, and we thought that we could provide support to emerging cybersec enthusiasts and explorers, and we could also provide all the resources required to explore the field, and also to introduce this domain in our college. So that's how DSCP Enthusiast was born, and we aim to promote this domain in our college so that uh, as a tech college we can keep up to the tech standards. So introduction, so I guess everyone knows what ethical hacking is, but the official definition says that ethical hacking is also known as penetration testing or white hat hacking, which involves the same tools and tricks and techniques that hackers use, but with one major difference: that ethical hacking is legal. So like everyone says that hacking and stuff is really bad, and like everyone says that there are more cyber criminals and stuff like that, but most people don't know that ethical hacking is also like I mean ethical hacking can also be in a legal way. Like we can also use hacking in a good way to protect companies and provide security to all these firms so that we could stop all these cyber criminals from rising. So that brings us to ethical hacking, which is the main idea of today. So it's the performing hacking with the permission of an owner or superior, which means that we take legal permissions from the company or the firm we are trying to hack, and we don't damage their systems or steal any information. Rather, we search for vulnerabilities and we analyze them, and then we report them to those owner or the concerned person so that they could patch them and they can eventually stop these cyber criminals to hack the system and destroy their services. So that brings us to the types of hackers, which we already discussed a little bit before too. So we also discuss about like the white hat hacker or the ethical hacker who hacks for good and who helps other companies to secure them. Black hat hackers are the cyber criminals who hack for bad intentions, malicious intentions, and they want to destroy every service or company which they see. Gray hat hackers, they are kind of mixture of white and black hat hackers. Like they're not predictable. They could do something good or do something bad, depends on the mood. So we can't really predict them. Red hat hackers are the ones who are in the hackers who are in police or military, which help those organizations to stop these black hat hackers from rising. Hacktivists are the kind of socialist people who work for governments and secret organizations. Not much is known about them because they operate very secretively. And script kiddies are the people who are just exploring cybersecurity and they don't have much knowledge about this domain, but they want to learn more about it. So these are the script kiddies. So why do hackers hack? So as seen that hackers are from 70 plus countries, and so 75%, 71% of them uh, do hack for making money. Like almost 70% want to be challenged because hacking, finding bugs and vulnerabilities in a system is very challenging. So if you want to take up a challenge, you can try this ethical hacking. Many of them try to build their resume by adding certificates and uh, the idea of that they are a hacker, a bug bounty hunter, to build their resume. Some people just want to have fun. They want to use the coding skills to achieve many incentives. So many people hack to have fun. And about 60% people, they want to good to the world. As I earlier said, that ethical hackers are the sole people who help the world from cyber criminals, and they help organizations, people, and everyone to secure this world and do good to the world. So there are two terms in ethical hacking which is seen every day. So one is security testing, which is like it is as simple as finding any security flaws inside any mechanism. Like it might be anything. It might be a website, it might be a server, it might be a network, it may be anything. It might even be an app. It might be anything. But you finding vulnerabilities in these security mechanisms is called security testing. Penetration testing is the just the next step of security testing, where you actually exploit the weaknesses or the vulnerabilities in order to gain access into the networks or the systems. So first you find a vulnerability or a flaw into a security mechanism, and then you use penetration testing to exploit into them and gain access. And vulnerability is as simple as the word says, it refers to a flaw in a system that can leave it open to attack. So there are different branches of cybersecurity. I don't want to go much deeper into each topic because it would be too long to discuss about each of them. But I would just like to mention some of them so that you know that there are some branches and they do exist. So there's something called as the network defense, malware analysis, intrusion detection, application security, and digital forensic incident response. Don't worry about the actual meaning of these stuffs, because right now you just need to know that there are some branches of cybersecurity as well, and these, as I said, these all these subdomains are as big as any domain, because cybersecurity is a very vast field. So when you actually go much deeper into learning this topic, you'll realize that each of these subtopics are really big to study. So the next terminology I want to talk about is phases of ethical hacking. Like it's the it's the route in which every ethical hacker hacks into a network. So when you think about hacking anything, like it might be a website, to a server, you will always follow these 6 steps, which include information gathering, which is gathering as much information about you can about the network or any service, like IP addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, or such related information. Then you have threat modeling, where you scan all these gathered data and try to make sense where, in which service or which part of the network there might be a vulnerability. Then comes the vulnerability analysis, where you actually go through each other vulnerability you found in part 2, and you do an analysis about each vulnerability and you search for bugs in it. The fourth is exploitation, which is as it says that we're going to use that the flaws we found to exploit into the network or service and gain access to it. Post exploitation is the next step, where we you must have heard like we have viruses, worms, trojans, and such malicious code which we can run and we can gain access. So that comes in the post exploitation. And the sixth part is the most important part of ethical hacking, and it is the part which makes it ethical. It's the reporting. So all these five, the information that you have got in these five steps is is to be reported to the company the or the firm or the owner, so that he could patch all those vulnerabilities, and so that the security of that company is increased. So these are the phases in which ethical hacking takes place. So the skills you'll learn as an ethical hacker, you'll have once you learn ethical hacking and go much deeper into it, you'll have knowledge of networking, Linux, computer hardware, various programming languages, and many others. And these are the on the picture on the right, you have different kinds of attacks that you can take out, as you have the malware attack, you have the phishing attack, and like you must have heard a lot of words of these words in news, as these are quite famous, and a lot of scams are taking place using these techniques. So all these skills can be learned as an ethical hacker. So as I told before, that why do we need hackers, as like many companies, if you know, like many companies are saying in the news and stuff like that, that they're getting hacked, or there's a data breach, or all the passwords are being stolen and stuff like that. So that's the reason why we need ethical hackers, because we need to stop these cyber attacks as much as possible. So it has been a report that 68% of world businesses are affected by cyber attacks, and uh, it is a point that we should note and we should be scared of, because we have been sending all of our data and personal data to various companies, including the top ones. So if the company gets hacked, your personal data gets released. So securities should be one of the main concerns when it comes to these organizations and also the users. So information is an important source for any organizations while executing business operations, and it should be confidential and secure. So that's why we need ethical hackers. So as I told earlier also, that these are many attacks that can happen inside a network. Like like don't focus on what these terms actually mean, but you must have already heard a lot of terms, like there's a DDoS attack, there was a phishing mail attack, there are automated attacks. You must have heard of viruses, Trojan horses, and worms, and all these attacks are increasing day by day. So we need to uh, go forward and stop all of these attacks and help these companies to be secure. So next, as I said, that everybody needs ethical hackers. So the demand of cybersec in industry is really very high. So as you can see, the cybersecurity postings were showed a big growth from 2010 to 2014. But till date, there has been a lot of increase in the cybersecurity postings. So even if you Google the word cybersecurity, you will see a lot of news and job postings, because like every company is scared now. Like they want to secure their data and their services as much as possible, because if they get hacked, basically their business is over, because humans won't trust them again, because like if there's a company who already got hacked, so why will someone trust them with their data, right? So every company needs a ethical hacking post, or a sector which can handle the company's security. So as the demand is high, the salary also increases. So hackers, like, they earn a lot. As you can see, as you can see in the figures, they per year they earn more than $100,000. So as the demand is very, very high, they earn a lot too. So these are the some kind of certifications that I listed down. Actually, there are many certifications out there, but I thought listing these are the most important ones that you should consider. Like, the if you have one of the CompTIA ones or the SANS or the offensive security, you are guaranteed to get a job, because in every job post that I've ever seen up till now, they ask for these certificates. So if you have these certificates on your resume, you will guaranteed get a job. So getting a job in cybersecurity is very easy, given that you have the right certifications and you have the right skills. So a demand is a lot more, and demand is a lot more, and also competition is a lot less. Like, if you see in the other domains like software engineering and data science, there is a lot of competition as many people are doing it, and so the demand is high, but the number of competitors is high too. So it becomes very difficult for job postings and stuff. But when it comes to ethical hacking, very less people are actually indulging into these domains. So the competition is relatively less. So now we'll be introducing the concept of bug bounty, and I invite Pratik to discuss about it. So Pratik, over to you.
Sure. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Myself, Pratik, I'm a security researcher and pen tester from Bug Crowd and HackerOne. So I will introduce to you bug bounty. A bug bounty is a IT jargon for a reward given for finding and reporting a bug in a particular software product. Many IT companies offer these types of programs which you can participate and report them a bug. They will pay you. A bug bounty is a reward provided by a company to someone who reports a bug in their software product. A reward can range from $25 to $50,000, but I think there is a one change. Okay, depending on the severity of the vulnerabilities. Next slide, please. Bug bounty logic. So, what is actually bug bounty? Why people do bug bounty? The bug hunting to make money, to have a fun, to build a strong portfolio, as earlier discussed, to be challenged. How to start a bug bounty? Practice makes man perfect. Reading books, proof of concepts requires a little bit programming knowledge. You don't need more programming knowledge, but you should understand the basics. Think logically. Hacker find a security vulnerability and report to a company. They will pay you. Actually, I use Bugcrowd and HackerOne the most. Synac is my dream. So these are the platforms which run bug bounty programs for the various companies. I will show you that in the demo. So next slide, please. Actually, bug bounty timeline. Organizations held bug bounty programs and security researchers get participate in that. So they research and pen test the websites or web applications or Android applications. So they found vulnerability and they report it to organization. Then IT security systems. There are security teams which validate the bugs and get back to you. They will reward for this valid vulnerability. Next, please. This is the bug bounty chart, which Microsoft paid $1 lakh for till now. But this chart is old. The new one I will show you in demo. So next slide, please.
Okay, so thank you, Pratik. So now I know you guys are bored with the PPT, and so we present you the teasers or the main show. So the first one is a Wi-Fi penetration test, which will be shown by Arnav. So just a minute. So I invite Arnav to present us the demo.
One second. Can you see it?
Yeah, yes, it's visible.
Okay. Um, so here I was in monitor mode using some other chipset that is not found in regular laptops, and I got my iPhone hotspot in the traffic. So I'm going to capture all the packets that are being transferred from and to a device from the hotspot. So right now you're seeing that using BSS ID and station. So station means that it is the device connected to the BSS ID. This can be shown in AirPlay NG. I'm going to use AirPlay NG to deauth this iPhone hotspot so that I get a handshake. The
Arnav,
handshake is going to.
Arnav, can you zoom in?
Is it visible now?
Much better. Just increase the font if it's possible. Okay, it's a video. Sorry,
Yeah, it's a video.
it's okay.
Sorry to
So
interrupt. It's okay. It's a video. We'll be uploading it on the server as well. So it's if you can't see it, it's okay. We'll upload it so you can see it afterwards. You can continue, Arnav.
okay, so I'm going to use AirPlay NG to deauth the iPhone hotspot so that I get a handshake. Now this is very loud, so sometimes you may not want to disrupt the entire access point. You just want to deauth one client from the hotspot or the Wi-Fi connection. So I'm going to be doing that as well. So I'll put in the BSS ID of the client, which is the station here on the left side. As you can see, I already got the WPA handshake, but just to show you. Now I have you saw that I captured these in a file called iPhone. So I'm going to use AirCrack to brute force the hash inside iPhone cap. And the cracking has started. I had to speed up the video because it takes a while. So I found the key here. The key is the silent one, and I got it in 17 minutes. I'm going to use this key to connect to my iPhone hotspot. I'll show you the password so that you believe me. And it's connected.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you, Arnav. So as you can see how we can use Kali Linux and some of its tools to do Wi-Fi penetration testing. So now I'll be presenting you the second demo, which is a malware which can steal your passwords. And not only passwords, it can steal literally anything that the user types. So let me show you that. So here you can see a report on Human Reflex, and it's a PDF file. So, and also has a .pdf extension and a PDF icon. So looks legitimate, nothing can be inside of it, no malware, nothing. But let me tell you, this is malicious and it has a special malware inside of it, which is called a keylogger. Now, what a keylogger actually does is it's, once it's installed on the victim's computer, it's going to record all the keystrokes that the victim is going to type. So whatever I'm going to type on my keyboard is going to be recorded, and it's going to send an email to the hacker with all the passwords or all the messages that the person has typed on his laptop. So for live demonstration, let me double click this and see what happens. Let's give it a second. So as you can see, we got a PDF, which is a report on Human Reflex. Nothing suspicious any happened, no terminal, no pop-ups, nothing really happened. So just for a change, let's go to facebook.com and we'll try to log in. So I'll use my credentials and the password. Okay, so I won't really log in because these aren't real credentials. But if we go to the hacker machine right here, you can see that, okay, this is a hacker machine. Okay, as you can see, it's Kali and VirtualBox. So it's a different machine right now. And I've logged in into the email or the hacker email, which will be getting all the emails from the malware. As you can see, we have got an email from Keylogger, and it has some nice information inside of it. So it shows that the victim computer is a Windows 10 machine with its version number. We also know the computer name and the user. So to prove that the user is the same on the victim computer, we can see the user is Brave Hero as well. So which means that we did manage to hack into the victim's computer. So if you go back, as you can see, we got a new email from Keylogger. And here's the fun part. As you can see, we got johnwick@gmail.com, and we got the password as well, which is johnwick123. So to confirm that the same password is there, we go back to the victim machine, and if you see this, it's the same password. So our malware managed to capture all these keystrokes and managed to send it through an email to the hacker machine. So in this way, an hacker can capture all of your keystrokes, all of your passwords, all of your messages, all of your emails, and can send it to the hacker machine. So creating a malware actually is quite complicated as it requires a lot of coding skills, but I'm going to show you a very easy way of doing it. So use my Kali terminal. So there's a program called Zlogger, which can help you generate a keylogger malware. So as you can see, I'm into the Zlogger directory. You need to download this tool from the internet. It has a GitHub repository as well. So if we list the files, we have the we have the program files right here. So we'll execute this Clogger file, and first we'll type the dash h, which will show us the help menu. So as you can see, there are some options that we can set. We can make a Windows executable, we can make a Linux executable, we can set the interval as well. Then we have the email and password and the output file. So an example of such a command will be, so let's do python zlogger.py. Then we'll make it for Windows, so -w. Then I'll set the interval to 60 seconds so that the malware is going to send me all the keystrokes every 60 seconds. You can keep, in the real life, you can keep it up to 5 minutes or 10 minutes according to you. Then we're going to set the email. So you should use a dedicated email for it. So I'm just going to use a demo email for this one, and the password, and then the output file, we'll name it as malware.exe. So let me see if we set all the parameters. So yes, we have. So let's run this program. So it will take a while. So as you can see, it's building the malware. So we're done, I guess. So if we list the files again, we can see there is a file called malware.exe, and it's the similar file that we just demonstrated right now. So if you send this to your victim or the victim computer, and if they execute this file, the same keylogger file will be executed as the demonstration we showed you. So that's how you can generate malware without knowing any coding, because up till now I just used a tool and used one command to generate the malware. I didn't even open a text editor to change anything or code anything. So that's how you do it. So that was the second demo. And the third demo will be shown by Pratik, which is a website penetration testing demo. So Pratik, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Hello. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Let me introduce SQL injection. So actually, what is SQL injection? SQL injection is a code injection technique in which malicious SQL statement are inserted into an empty field, which it will give you whole database information instead of normal info. So let me show you. This site is vulnerable for SQL injection. So just a second. Okay, let's test this URL. Let me copy it. This is SQL. Acha, SQL map is a tool, automated tool. There are two types of attacks, automated one and manual one. So I will show you automated SQL injection because manual will take lot of time. So let me start. This is the URL. As you can see, this is the URL. So let me test it. Minus DBS for database information. This will give you database. Okay. There are two database, AccuArt and information underscore schema. So let me test for AccuArt. Let's check tables. Acha. Tables include users, products, features, guestbook, features, cards and artists. Let me check for users. इसमें क्या है देखते हैं एक बार. अच्छा. User columns consist of name, address, credit card number, email, password, phone number, username. So I don't have username, but let me check. Achha, they give me a test and password is test. So let's check it once. So we will dump the password. Okay, boom. We have got a credit card number. Password is test. Email of the user. Phone number. Username. Test. Test. So you can log in the admin panel with these credentials. So next one, I will show you my POC. POC is a proof of concept, so which I have reported earlier. Achha. This consists of parameter tempering. Actually, parameter tempering is the manipulation of a parameter, which where you can manipulate the price of the product. हाँ. So यहाँ पे $410 का था. So the total price will be manipulating. So I have made it $1.36. And boom. The price, the actual price was 25,000, and I have manipulated for 100 rupees. So you can report this. So you will got a reward. I will introduce to Bugcrowd, which I actually use. And the price, you can see the price. When you report the P1 is actually critical bug. When you report a Binance to a critical bug, you will get $1 lakh rupees. So that's it for today. We can actually deep in next time. तो नेटफ्लिक्स का बता दो क्या? कोई टीचर नहीं है ना यहाँ. अच्छा, नेटफ्लिक्स का बता दे तो. नेटफ्लिक्स हैज द, just a second. Netflix is vulnerable to cookie hijacking. Actually, what is a cookies? Cookies are those which contains some piece of information. The information will be IP address, password, user details, preferences, browser details, how much time you visiting a web page and location. So Netflix वालों का जो terms and condition है उन्होंने cookies के लिए अलग बनाया है. So it is vulnerable to cookie hijacking. उन्होंने क्या किया है, कुकीज विल नेवर एक्सपायर ऐसे किया है. जब तक तुम लॉग आउट नहीं कर सकते एप्लीकेशन से, सो तुम्हारे कुकीज जो यहाँ पर है, कुकीज ऐसे दिखते हैं. लेट मी शो यू. ऐसे दिखते हैं कुकीज. अगर मुझे ये दूसरे यूजर का कुकी मिल गया एंड वो नेटफ्लिक्स में साइन इन है, तो आई कैन सी हिज डिटेल्स. तो मेरे कुकीज सीधा मैं डिलीट कर दूंगा. आई विल इंसर्ट न्यू वन so I can log in. रिफ्रेश करके लॉगिन हो जाएगा. एक्चुअली वो लॉगिन नहीं हुआ क्योंकि मैंने मेरे कुकीज को कॉपी किए थे. आई हैवंट साइन इन. सो दैट्स इट. श्रेयस.
या ओके. सो थैंक यू प्रतीक. एक क्वेश्चन आया है. A question someone asked ki how can we see that whether the keylog is running in the PC or not. So if you see here in task manager, यहाँ पे नीचे you can see a suspicious Python process, और उसके नीचे you can see our PDF के दो files है which are getting executed, and also you can see they are consuming like good amount of memory. तो ये तीन देख के you can think like if you never executed a Python program तो ये Python का process आया किधर से? So that's one question you can ask. And also you can ask कि ये PDF के दो instances क्यों है और वो कहाँ से आए? So these some of the techniques where you can see whether the keylogger is running or not. So अभी तक, so if I check my email right now, I will have a lot of emails from keylogger because ये मैंने बंद नहीं किया था. As you can see again, network में you can see 0.1 Mbps है. That's because it is sending an email. So it's using a little bit of the internet connection. So वो देख के भी तुम
Yeah, Shreyas, if the process is named as Windows something, so we won't be able to ever guess that whether it is a fake process or a real process, right?
yeah. यहाँ पे I just did for demonstration, but you can always change the name and the icon also. So most of the like most of the users है, most of the लोग task manager खोलते ही नहीं है first of all. Or even if खोल भी दिया, you can always mimic that process to be a system process. तो देखो ये जो नीचे का runtime broker है, okay, so it has an icon of a system process and has a name which looks like a system process. So you can also name it as that and uh, mimic it. तो इसको मिटिगेट करने के लिए एंटीवायरस ने does something called as real time scanning, जो तुमने सुना होगा. So the moment you run the file ना, तो वो एंटीवायरस चेक करता है कि what is that program actually trying to do. Okay, if it sees that it's trying to do something malicious, like it's trying to access the keyboard or it's sending a reverse connection or something, तो वो उधर ही उसको रोक देगा. Okay, so but manually ऐसा देखने से पता नहीं चलेगा. Like only the intellectual system administrators can probably see कि क्या हो रहा है. So just looking at the task manager, it's a little bit difficult. Again, if you see a process which is using a lot of your internet connection, so यहाँ पे अभी 0 है because it's just sending an email, so ज़्यादा internet नहीं लगता उसको. But the other malware उसके अंदर तुमको network usage थोड़ा ज़्यादा दिखेगा. Then you can think कि what is that process doing, because ऐसा कोई system process ऐसा direct internet use नहीं करता. Most of them, unless it's browser related or any other system or SMTP service होगा तो उसका अलग है. So but ऐसा normal कोई process वो internet use नहीं करता. So उस हिसाब से you can suspicion arise करके कर सकते हो. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, so I have one more question. If the Windows doesn't have Python installed, will the malware still works on it?
हाँ, good question. Actually, mostly exe files से ही send करते हैं. But you can have you heard of a virtual environment Python में?
Yes.
So you can actually send a whole virtual environment to someone's PC. और वो venv के scripts में तो सब Python और उसके dependencies तो रहते ही है. So वो उससे तो execute हो जाएगा. Although that venv will be a little bit bulky, but कर सकते हैं.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure. And so like last part was the अभी कितना time है? 10 मिनट है ना? So any other questions? Let me see.
Do you use antivirus yourself?
Yeah, of course I do. Like I have like बताऊंगा नहीं कौन सा है, but I do use. Like although you can make malware if you're skilled enough, अगर आगे आगे तुम लोग बहुत deep जाओगे ना, you can actually create malware which can totally bypass all antivirus systems. Like totally. So ऐसा एंटीवायरस है तुम्हारे कंप्यूटर पे, दैट डजंट मीन कि यू आर फुल्ली प्रोटेक्टेड. ओके, यूजर को भी समझ में आना चाहिए कि ऐसा पीडीएफ फाइल है तो चेक करो कि वो पीडीएफ फाइल है कि नहीं. तो इफ यू सी राइट, छोटा सा ईस्टर एग दिखाता हूँ. तो ये जो फाइल दिख रहा है, पीडीएफ फाइल दिख रहा है, सबको लगेगा पीडीएफ फाइल है, बट अरे क्या कर दिया. हाँ, So if you actually go to the properties menu, you will actually see that it's an application, it's an exe file, it's not a pdf at all. It's an exe file which does two things. एक तो वो pdf खोलता है जो हम लोग को दिखा, because अभी pdf दबाया है तो pdf दिखाना पड़ेगा ही ना. And the second thing was the malware that got executed in the background as a python process. So वो दो चीजें हुई, इसलिए टास्क मैनेजर में मैंने दिखाया ना कि दो दो इंस्टेंसेस बने हैं पीडीएफ के, वो थे वो दो इंस्टेंसेस. तो वो देख के तुमको पता चल जाना चाहिए कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. So before opening anything or before clicking on anything, you should perfectly scan it and analyze it कि is it what it seems. So यूजर को एजुकेट करना बहुत जरूरी है when it comes to ethical hacking. सिर्फ ऐसा एंटीवायरस डाउनलोड करके कुछ फायदा नहीं है. कि एंटीवायरस इज लाइक just a buffer shield for that person. So and okay, बहुत questions हैं यार. Okay, so most of the viruses can send data to the hacker without internet connection. Yeah, if you want to transport all the data remotely, you have to use internet connection. Like उसके बिना तो नहीं होगा, right? और else क्या कर सकते हो कि जो भी डेटा है यूजर डेटा, वो तुम लोग विक्टिम पीसी पे ही थोड़ी देर के लिए स्टोर कर सकते हो इन लॉग फाइल और सच फाइल्स, और थोड़ी देर बाद कनेक्ट करके फटक से डेटा छीन लो, सो दैट कंटिन्यूसली डेटा छीनना ना पड़े, एक साथ ही सब मिल जाए. तो वो ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हो. How long did it take you to get comfortable with hacking? It depends on how much you learn in how much time. ऐसा कुछ time नहीं है, but like the more experienced you are, the more powerful you are. Like hacking is just like Harry Potter जैसे ही है, learning magic at Hogwarts. The more techniques you know, the more spells you know, the more you master them, the more powerful you become. So जितना सीखोगे उतना powerful hacker बनोगे तुम. So ऐसा time का कुछ नहीं है. Linux doesn't need antivirus, right? Good question. Like Windows के हिसाब से Linux काफी secure है when it comes to user access control and stuff. But there are antiviruses for Linux well, like Rootkit Hunter नाम का एक program है. It can be used to scan all the disks and फिर ढूंढ के निकालता है कि if there is any antivirus program or not. बट लिनक्स में malware काफी कम टाइम दिखेगा, बिकॉज लिनक्स में अगर तुमने यूज किया होगा तो ऐसा फाइल को इट्स नॉट लाइक exe लाइक डबल क्लिक करके चालू हो जाएगा. यू नीड टू एक्चुअली रन इट फ्रॉम द टर्मिनल. सो थोड़ा मुश्किल है टू सोशल इंजीनियर दैट पर्सन इनटू रनिंग दैट malware. लाइक यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन हिम कि ऐसा ऐसा फाइल भेज रहा हूँ मैं, ये टर्मिनल पे जाके ऐसे ऐसे एग्जीक्यूट कर दो. तो इट्स अ लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट. सो लिनक्स में malware में काफी कम इंस्टेंसेस दिखते हैं. Is Kali safe for PC? Kali is just a distro, Linux distro, or it's just an operating system, so it is safe. Like ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Can antiviruses like McAfee detect malwares and keyloggers? Yeah, definitely. अभी जो keylogger मैंने दिखाया, it is detectable by many antivirus systems because ये काफी well-known malware है. But there are antivirus evasion techniques too, like obfuscation techniques होता है. एक दिखा दूं क्या? चल दिखाई देता हूँ. So उसमें से सब टेक्निक्स तो नहीं दिखा पाऊंगा. उसमें से one, this is the technique which is the hex editing technique. So this has ये जो है सामने, that's an hex editor. So इसमें अगर मैं ओपन करूँ कोई भी एग्जीक्यूटेबल, तो वो वाले ओपन करता हूँ जो हमने यूज किया था. हाँ, सो एज यू कैन सी दैट ये पूरा सब उसके अंदर ये जो exe फाइल की जो सब इंस्ट्रक्शंस है, जो हेक्साडेसिमल में जो सब दिख रहा है, दैट इज बेसिकली द इंस्ट्रक्शंस दैट आर गोइंग टू बी fed to the microprocessor. तो इसको ऑब्फुस्केट करने के लिए ना बेसिकली मेरे को इसका सिग्नेचर बदलना है, बिकॉज एंटीवायरस जो है जो सबसे पहले वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल या फाइल का सिग्नेचर चेक करता है. सो एज यू कैन सी ये जो पार्ट है ये कमेंट है. ओके, सो इट्स नॉट रियली एन इंस्ट्रक्शन बट इट्स एन कमेंट. सो इफ आई चेंज दिस टू एनीथिंग जिबरिश तो सिग्नेचर बदल जाएगा वो फाइल का, और एंटीवायरस डिटेक्ट करने को थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट पड़ेगा. सो आई हैव टू, सो आई कैन चेंज दिस वैल्यूज, लाइक कुछ भी डाल सकता हूँ यहाँ पे. So as you can see, I'm changing some stuff here. But make sure you change only the comment part, because बाकी का जो gibberish दिख रहा है ये तुम्हें gibberish दिख रहा हो, but वो microprocessor को it makes sense. Okay, all these are instructions. Okay, so if you change anything of that, it वो तुम्हारा malware break हो जाएगा और like चलेगा ही नहीं. So I'm changing the only the comment वाला part. So this is the E and that's it. इसके आगे मैं चेंज नहीं करना है, बिकॉज इवन दैट स्मॉल डॉट ये जो इट्स एन इंस्ट्रक्शन, सो वो प्रोग्राम का पार्ट हुआ. सो इफ आई सेव दिस फाइल इट विल डेफिनेटली bypass one or two more antiviruses. So this is one of, इसको hex obfuscation बोलते हैं. So ऐसे ऐसे और भी कमेंट्स हो गए नीचे जिसको हम चेंज कर सकते हैं और उसका सिग्नेचर बदल सकते हैं, बट फॉर नाउ इट्स ओके. सो ऐसे बहुत सारे मेथड्स हैं, उसमें से ये एक मेथड मैंने दिखाया. Any more questions?
Is Wireshark the sponsor of today's video?
Sure. मेरे पास भी है, अभी से पड़ा हुआ है. तो और क्या है, Kali Linux preferred for Windows or iOS for hacking? For beginners, yes, because Kali में सब tools installed, pre-installed रहता है. You can try Parrot OS also. Actually Parrot OS I felt it's better because RAM consumption कम है और fast भी चलता है, and it has all the tools that Kali Linux has. तो वो भी try कर सकते हो. So you can try your own Linux distro also, like Linux.
Which one you said?
Parrot OS. Yeah. This is the Parrot OS का official website. As I said, it was lightweight and free Linux distro. Yeah. तो ये भी यूज कर सकते हो, काफी अच्छा है. इसका भी वर्चुअल मशीन आता है, वो यहाँ पे डाउनलोड के जगह जहाँ पे देख लेना, यहाँ पे वर्चुअल वाला पार्ट है. तो आई गेस कौन सा वाला था, एक तो ये था, नहीं तो ये था. डॉकर पे भी चाहिए तो रन कर सकते हो, बट वर्चुअल बॉक्स वाला बेटर रहेगा. So that's Parrot OS. Can same malwares be used for mobile phones? नहीं, like yeah, you can build one for mobile phones. Like Android के लिए you need an APK file. Like उसके अंदर like although Android is Linux too, but it is optimized for APK files. So you need to APK files या किसी गेम के अंदर वो malware fit करके को भेजना पड़ेगा, which executes malware code. I'm not sure about like keyloggers in Android, because mostly जो keyboard आता है वो Google का आता है, so it's not your system का connected. But I guess
Samsung keyboards have like they are proprietary to Samsung phones, ना? They are not Google keyboards.
हाँ, Samsung का अलग है. हाँ, सिर्फ Samsung का अलग है, बाकी जो phones है उसका Google ये करता है, unless that person has Play Store से दूसरा कोई कीबोर्ड यूज कर रहा हो.
Xiaomi भी तो है, उसका तो सब अपना ही रहता है.
हाँ, तो वो लाइक देखना पड़ेगा कि इज इट वल्नरेबल, और कैन यू हर एक कीबोर्ड का एक प्रोसेस रहता है. ठीक है, तो वो प्रोसेस को इंटरसेप्ट करना इज कॉल्ड एज प्रोसेस हुकिंग. So you have to write a piece of code which can access that process and extract data from it, because वो जो process है which will be receiving all that data from your जो touch कर रहे हो तुम लोग कीबोर्ड पे, तो वो तुम्हें इंटरसेप्ट करके वहां से डेटा उठाना है। इवन ये जो कीलॉगर मैलवेयर डज द सेम थिंग, जो कीबोर्ड का जो प्रोसेस है उसको हुक करके वो डेटा वहां से स्टील कर रहा है और वहां से वो एक लॉग फाइल में डाल के ईमेल कर रहा है। सो दैट्स व्हाई इवन दो आई डिड नॉट इवन लॉग इन बट स्टिल आई गॉट द यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड। तो इसलिए वो बैंकिंग वेबसाइट्स पे वो वर्चुअल कीबोर्ड लगाते हैं, बिकॉज इवन दो कीलॉगर रहेगा भी तुम्हारे सिस्टम में तो वो कैच नहीं कर पाएगा तुम्हारा पासवर्ड।
Android viruses do exist, right? Because बीच में there was this whole row about some apps making their way on Play Store, which maliciously tracked everything.
Yeah, exactly. और मैंने कहा ना कि malicious APKs can be there. Like you can inject code, malicious code into your game APK. So तुम्हें लगेगा कि वो गेम है और वो गेम होगा भी, but in the background it will be running malicious code which
Right.
will be
But then is that theoretically that means the keyloggers are possible for Android. It doesn't have anything to do with the keyboards, right?
yeah, but
गूगल
उसका
का रहता
थोड़ा
है ना, गूगल का कीबोर्ड रहता है ना, वो तो उसका अलग है. So
अच्छा,
using some
तो like
third party
proprietary code.
keyboard and it is easy.
तो लाइक देखना पड़ेगा कि लाइक फॉर एंड्रॉइड हाउ दैट व्हेन यू टच वो एग्जैक्टली क्या होता है। लाइक पहले वो स्क्रीन का जो ये रहता है वो डिटेक्ट करता है कि कहाँ पे तूने टच किया, फिर वो कीबोर्ड का प्रोसेस रहता है वो डिटरमाइन किया करता है कि जहाँ पे तूने टच किया है वो कौन सा लेटर है। सपोज यू प्रेस्ड के, फिर वो डिटेक्ट करता है अच्छा ठीक है तूने के प्रेस किया है, मैं के को रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ। अभी ये जो के जो रिकॉर्ड हुआ वही टाइम पे हमारा मैलवेयर जाके उसको पकड़ लेगा और के को उठा लेगा। तो ठीक है, ये जो नॉर्मल प्रोसेस है वो टच हो रहा है, के रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, वो सब ठीक है, सिम हम आके छीन के चले गए, ऐसा हो गया। सो दैट इज पॉसिबल। ऑल्दो मैंने एंड्रॉयड में था एक्सप्लोर किया नहीं है, बट how much storage space does Linux space? 4 GB should be fine, I guess. नहीं, स्टोरेज स्पेस बोल रहा है ना, 40 GB वीएम पे और रैम को 4 GB पे रख। उसका सब डिटेल्स विल सेंड ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड की कैसे सब सेटअप करना है, कौन से ऑप्शंस बराबर सेटअप करने हैं, वो विल सेंड आउट ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड ग्रुप।
एक बार देख लेना, बिकॉज रिसोर्सेज का बहुत, जो कंप्यूटर का जो हार्डवेयर रिसोर्सेज है उसमें बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है. समटाइम्स योर कोर इज नॉट powerful enough to run a virtual machine. So read everything like carefully, then think about it. Consider करो क्या अगर
वो सिंगल कोर पे भी अफेक्ट करेगा क्या वो? लाइक मल्टी कोर सीपीयू रहेगा तो भी सिंगल कोर कैन बॉटलनेक इट अ वीएम?
I use two processors.
अच्छा,
2 is actually recommendable, but you
नहीं
can
ऐसे
try
नो,
out.
बहुत slow
ये
चलेगा.
saying कि single thread single core can cause a VM to malfunction, right? So does that mean कि multi core भी problems हो सकता है?
अब हो तो सकता है, there is always a way, but मेरे साथ तो कभी नहीं हुआ. I have been using VMs for like three years now.
So another question is like,
VirtualBox use करो.
VirtualBox is the best. So
VMware
like
is also a good option, but no, actually VMware is a very good option because it runs faster. अगर if you have like gaming laptop 16 GB है और अच्छा core है, then you can go for VirtualBox.
For low end PCs VMware and for higher like VirtualBox, right?
right. Yeah, right. So like another question is like how to start learning hacking. It's like very simple. हम लोग ने courses में Z security का एक link दिया है, उसके अंदर एक पहला course है which is ethical hacking from scratch. Okay, so if you want to explore and know more about this practical approach to hacking and how it's done, so वो course कर लो. that will help you a lot. उसके बाकी के भी कोर्स once you're settled in, if you think कि और सीखना है और करना है, तो जेड सिक्योरिटी के बाकी भी कोर्सेस है, वो भी तुम कर सकते हो. और कुछ डाउनलोड करने की कुछ ज़रूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज वो मेगा पे ब्राउजर पे ही सब वीडियोस एक्सेसिबल है. सिर्फ वो जो फर्स्ट कोर्स है वो डाउनलोड करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज उसका टॉरेंट है. बाकी ये सब कोर्सेज आर
डिस्कॉर्ड
अवेलेबल.
डिस्कॉर्ड में देखो यार, सब है. देखोगे तो सब कुछ है वहाँ पे टू गेट स्टार्टेड. अभी वो इंडिया का प्रॉब्लम नहीं मालूम यार. See, it really depends on what kind of vulnerability you find. If it's a very critical one, then the pay is obviously very high. But I guess nowadays, इतना find करना like इतना easy नहीं होता है. There are many skilled people who actually find vulnerabilities. कोई छोटा vulnerability मिल गया तो थोड़ा सा cash मिल जाता है. But अभी जो bug bounty तुम लोग बोल रहे हो, अभी वो बहुत दूर है. पहले तो तुम लोग को like understand करना है कि how all this works. Firstly, you need to like be thorough with how a computer works. You need to know networking. You need to know how hardware works. Assembly सीखो. Wireless technology सीखो. Bluetooth सीखो.
Good place to start assembly.
Begin.re. रुको.
दिखा दूं क्या मैं?
ये लिख दिया मैंने link. Just type this in the browser. Get started. अभी करना है, अभी पढ़ो. बाद में करना है, बाद में पढ़ो.
ये है वो साइट, बहुत मस्त साइट है.
एंड लोग बहुत मिस कर जाते हैं ये चीज, बट एक्चुअली असेंबली इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू लर्न इन हैकिंग स्पेशली, because it gives you a lot of scope in other domains of cybersecurity like malware analysis. So it's a very good asset to have. रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग में भी बहुत काम आता है, बिकॉज अभी असेंबली नहीं आता तो रिवर्स इंजीनियर कैसे करोगे. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स लाइक सिस्टम कॉल्स, फिर कर्नल को कैसे यूज करता है वो, तो वो सब स्टैटिक में दिखता है. प्रतीक वो एक बंदा है जिसको मिला, सबको नहीं मिलता है.
ये और एक क्वेश्चन है. सो ये malware PDF डिलीट किया तो सेफ हो जाएंगे क्या? डबल क्लिक करने से पहले डिलीट किया तो सही, डबल क्लिक करने के बाद डिलीट करके कोई फायदा नहीं, तब तक खत्म हो चुका रहेगा सब कुछ. सो इफ यू फील कि समथिंग सस्पिशियस, एनालाइज इट. इफ यू स्टिल थिंक इज सस्पिशियस, सीधा डिलीट कर दो. और जिसने सेंड किया है उसको पूछो कि लाइक क्या सेंड किया तुमने, लाइक कंफर्म इट फ्रॉम हिम, बिकॉज most of the social engineering hacks happen because of miscommunication. Okay, like email आता है तुम्हारे फ्रेंड से, लेकिन तुम फ्रेंड को फोन करके नहीं पूछते कि ये तुमने भेजा है क्या, लेकिन वो हैकर ने भेजा रहता है using his email account. So miscommunication is one of the flaws of social engineering, which leads to social engineering.
इतना खतरनाक चीज है ना वो चीज. You'll get an email, it looks so legitimate, you will fall for it, you will click on the link, you will put your login, fish हो जाओगे. फिशिंग पेजेस देखे होंगे ना पहले. नहीं, किसी ने नहीं देखा. ओके.
हाँ.
क्या होता है बता दो.
मालूम है ना.
Basically, it's a same UI. It looks UI is the same, but a small change in the address. Like Facebook का one O is missing. You enter the login details, they capture it, they redirect your request to the actual Facebook page.
और एक और चीज जो टेलीमार्केटर्स यूज करते हैं और जो तुमको लाइक ईमेल्स आते हैं वेरियस ऑफर्स के साथ कि बाय अवर दिस, ये करो वो करो, उसमें तुम लोग नोटिस नहीं करोगे बट there's something called shadow pixels. Those shadow pixels are nothing but very 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 small images, like one by one pixel का उसका size रहेगा. It will be inside the image, sorry, it will be inside the email, और वो image एक external link होगा which leads to a different IP address from the sender, and that IP address stores your real IP. So if you open that email, they have your IP address. आई थिंक मैं कुछ ज्यादा ही झाड़ रहा हूँ, तुम लोग देखो. Mess with power plan. See, it really depends. If you're employing very internet based technologies, say IoT devices है, the whole thing is based on IoT, then हो सकता है पावर प्लान को एक उसका सेटिंग्स खराब कर देना. बट if it's a very manual thing, like मेरे को जाके करना पड़ेगा उधर, then it's a different case. Is torrent safe to be downloaded on PC or should it?
वीएम पे करो खत्म.
टॉरेंट मेन अपने होस्ट ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में कभी यूज मत करना. आई ट्राइड इट वंस. देयर वाज दिस स्टूपिड थिंग कॉल्ड लावासॉफ्ट दैट गॉट इंस्टॉल्ड, एंड व्हेनेवर आई ओपनड माय ब्राउजर इट ओपनड इट्स ओन सर्च इंजन जिसमें HTTPS नहीं था. आई हैड टू वाइप डाउन एवरीथिंग. इट वाज अ पेन. तो या लाइक श्रेयस सेड VM में करो, सेफेस्ट है. कुछ हो गया तो VM डिलीट हो सकता है. Browser hijacker install.
Can you share your mistake which you did before and you regret it now? मतलब, we can learn from that.
कौन सा मिस्टेक?
Mistake you did while learning this cybersecurity course.
हाँ, मेरे पास एक मस्त वाला है.
हाँ,
इफ यू
एक मैं बताता हूँ, रुको, एक
पहले
मैं
बता ले.
First of all, if someone tells you that you cannot hack anything, पहली बात तो don't listen to them. They probably don't know what they're saying. पहली बात तो अपना मोरल डाउन मत होने देना, because hacking is going to test your knowledge and your patience as well. लोग साल बिता देते हैं एक एक्सप्लॉइट बनाने में, और वो इतना क्रिटिकल होता है. कुछ लोग 2 दिन में कर लेते हैं, कुछ लोग उसको 5 मिनट में ढूंढ लेते हैं. Really depends on how and when you see it. We are humans after all, right? हमको थोड़ी सपना आएगा कि यहाँ पे था वहाँ पे था. It's after a lot of testing. Depends where you start. So first thing is never give up. Keep pursuing whatever interests you. हैकिंग वाली हुडी, देख पहली बात तो ना मुंबई में ना बहुत गर्मी होती है. हुडी तो कभी मत पहनना एक्सेप्ट फरवरी या जनवरी में. नहीं, हम हुडीज नहीं देते. Not yet,
अरे
at
हमारे
least.
पास खुद के पास हुडीज नहीं है, तो मैं क्या दे.
नहीं, मेरे पास एक ही हुडी है.
हाँ, and one more thing कि while learning hacking or exploring, always take notes. OneNote यूज करो या Charity यूज करो, जो भी note taking software यूज करना है करो, but always take notes of what you learned and which commands you executed, क्या exactly तुमने क्या सीखा, because it's so vast कि तुम सब टेक्निक सब कुछ अपने ब्रेन में नहीं रख पाओगे. So ऐसे नोट्स बनाया करो. एक एग्जांपल दिखाता हूँ मैं नोट्स का. देख, मुझे भी ये बहुत बाद में पता चला कि मुझे नोट्स रखना चाहिए, तो 1 साल के बाद पता चला. सो एज यू कैन सी आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ नोटबुक्स राइट हियर. अभी कुछ ही 1 महीने पहले शुरू किया है, सो ज़्यादा डेटा नहीं है. सो आई हैव मेड ऐसे सेक्शंस बनाए हैं. इन सेक्शंस यू हैव डिफरेंट पेजेस एंड स्टफ. तो ऐसे तो लाइक कभी डाउट आया कि ये कैसे करते हैं वो कैसे करते हैं, सो इफ यू लाइक एंटीवायरस इवेजन टेक्निक्स कौन से है, ये सब तुम लोग को तुम्हारे नोट्स में मिल जाएगा. सो नोट टेकिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
श्रेयस, तूने जो अभी नोट्स खोले थे वो डिस्कॉर्ड पे डाल देना.
एक्चुअली आई डोंट भाई डाल तो सकता हूँ, बट आई डोंट रिकमेंड, क्योंकि मैंने वो खुद के लैंग्वेज में लिखा है, तो पता नहीं तुमको समझेगा भी या नहीं. चाहिए तो डाल देता हूँ, बट इट्स बेटर दैट यू मेक योर ओन नोट्स, सो दैट यू नो लाइक नोट्स बनाने से तुम्हारे मन में भी एक वो माइंड मैप तैयार हो जाता है कि ओके ये नोटबुक में था, ये सेक्शन में था, ये वाला पार्ट था. तो इफ यू मेक योर ओन नोट्स इट विल बी वेरी बेनिफिशियल. और लाइक हैकिंग में से शॉर्टकट्स मत ढूंढो, मेहनत लगती है. सो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बेच देता हूँ मैं चाहिए तो, बट मेकिंग योर ओन नोट्स विल बी वेरी 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 बेनिफिशियल. और कोई क्वेश्चंस है क्या? गाइस टाइप मत करो, सीधा माइक खोल लो, बहुत सारे कमेंट्स हैं, नहीं समझ रहे मैं कौन सा क्वेश्चन है कौन सा कमेंट है. इट टेक्स मी लॉन्ग टू एग्जीक्यूट.
See, think of GUI as candy. So when you eat it the first time, now you want to use it all the time. Try not to use GUI all the time. थोड़ा कमांड लाइन यूज करना सीख लो, कभी कभी बहुत काम आता है. बिकॉज जब भी GUI एप्लीकेशंस खोलते हो ना, पहली बार तो मेमोरी खाता है वो बहुत. फिर उसके बाद इतने सारे विंडोज खुल जाते हैं, फिर बहुत क्लटर होता है. इससे अच्छा लर्न टू यूज कमांड्स, execute commands in one line, get it over with.
प्रतीक फीडबैक फॉर्म ही है ना वो?
हाँ, और एक और एडवाइस दूंगा, 10 फिंगर टाइपिंग प्लीज सीखो, प्लीज प्लीज. You will save a lot of time. I could not imagine learning hacking without 10 finger typing.
फोर्टी वर्ड्स पर मिनट ठीक है ना, या कुछ अपग्रेड करने की जरूरत है?
बहुत स्लो है 40 words per minute bro, you need at least 60.
नहीं,
मेरा
मैं 10 फिंगर करता हूँ, पर फिर भी मतलब 40
हाँ,
के
वो
ऊपर नहीं जाता.
प्रैक्टिस से आएगा. I started 10 finger typing when I was 14 and my highest speed yet is 90. That is when I'm actually like very very focused. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं casually type कर रहा हूँ. It ranges from 70 to 80, but I have hit 90 once, twice. I don't know.
कहाँ पे प्रैक्टिस करता है?
मैं एक साल उसका कोई कोर्स किया था, but I was 14 at the time. But ever since I made it a habit, so whatever I did on the computer, I just used 10 finger typing. ऐसे करते करते मेरा प्रैक्टिस बढ़ गया. So now it is, मतलब अभी प्रैक्टिस करने की जरूरत नहीं है, हो जाता है सही. हाँ ब्रो, टाइपिंग मास्टर, यस. How much time to invest for typing every day? I would say whenever you use your keyboard, type. वैसे ही 10 finger typing में जैसे होता है. Try not to look at the keyboard. I am not opening the link, bro. देख ले यार, भरोसा नहीं है तो मत कर, बट देख ले. हम नहीं कर रहे हैं तो you have our names. Think about it. We are not going to have some kind of
I was
ID
just kidding.
link. हाँ. नहीं, डर जाते हैं लोग. आई अंडरस्टैंड. बहुत ऐसा फियर है, हॉलीवुड ने इतना मिसलीड किया है ना हम लोग को कि डरावना होता है, बहुत खतरनाक होता है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इट्स जस्ट
Dude, you just showed me examples of doing it.
हाँ.
दैट्स द चैलेंज, वहाँ भी क्या करें.
हाँ, फीडबैक फॉर्म ना एकदम मैलिशियस है डॉक्टर. यस, वेरी वेरी
यस डॉक्टर.
भाई मेरा ब्लू स्क्रीन हो गया, देख ले तू.
तो तू बात कैसे कर रहा है बता।
वही
मैं फोन से आ जा,
एग्जैक्टली।
मैं फोन से आ जा।
और लाइक नोट्स भी
टाइपिंग
बनाओगे तो भी टाइपिंग प्रैक्टिस हो
पैराग्राफ्स
जाएगा।
is okay, but semicolons coding takes time. Um, Sarvagnya Purohit. See, initially typing paragraphs was also difficult for me. Like, but then when I started coding with 10-figure typing, it took me some time to actually write parentheses, semicolons. वो सब habit से ही होता है. उसका उसका कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है. It's just habit होती है बस. किसी को कुछ पूछना है और
और बाद में भी
अगला
डाउट,
इवेंट कब है?
पहला
ये
इवेंट
तो
कब है?
ओरिएंटेशन था अभी आया. पहला इवेंट होना बाकी है. This was
वही
just a teaser.
Yeah, I installed Kali on VMbox a couple of months back, but उसमें हम लोग को ना Wi-Fi access करने नहीं मिल रहा था. This is the problem which is faced by everybody on VMbox.
Did you install extensions pack?
No.
हाँ तो करना चाहिए था.
Okay.
Because
Generally people say कि use an external Wi-Fi pen drive.
नहीं, you can use NAT and you can still browse the web. You just need to install extensions pack.
Okay.
कुछ
लाइक
प्रॉब्लम
वाई
होएगा तो डिस्कॉर्ड पे डिस्कस कर लेंगे. वो VC पे आ जाना. I will help you.
Sure. Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
और लाइक वाईफाई अडेप्टर इज लाइक वेब पेन टेस्टिंग के वेब क्या वाईफाई पेन
Wi-Fi.
टेस्टिंग के लिए यूज होता है
Yeah.
मोस्टली।
I was trying to do the first thing which you showed now, cracking the neighbor's
Good.
Wi-Fi.
It's a good thing to start with. Especially it's because it's like a popular thing. Wi-Fi वगैरह तो it's everywhere nowadays. Just the only thing that would probably disappoint you is that WEP is not everywhere. So it's a little harder to hack Wi-Fi nowadays. But अगर weak password है, then हो जाता है मतलब.
यूजुअली लोग
Otherwise,
अपने फोन नंबर्स रखते हैं, तो फिर वो कितने टाइम में होता है?
you could use social engineering. Ask for their phone number. I don't know.
नहीं 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 नहीं,
करो
वहां पे
छोड़ा.
मतलब ब्रूट फोर्स पे इन जनरलिटी सिर्फ नंबर्स क्रैक करने में, नहीं तो सिर्फ अल्फाबेट्स क्रैक करने में कितना टाइम?
Hours. Takes hours.
ब्रूट फोर्स का तो कैरेक्टर पे डिपेंड करता है ना कि इतना कैरेक्टर इतना टाइम लगता है, फिर एक 5 का ये
If
6
it's
का ये.
10, if it's 10 characters, 10 numbers, it could take a few hours,
Okay.
probably a day. Depends on your processor, but it's not recommended इतना brute force करना. Why would you want to waste so much power?
Yeah, I mean,
Look
okay,
for a easier
धमका
way.
के ले ही सकते वाईफाई का पासवर्ड.
आपका के नहीं, आपका के नहीं लेना है हमें. हम ethical hackers है, बाद में
वही
करेंगे.
वही
आपका
और
नाम
कर रहे हैं हमारा नाम मत लेना बस।
please. हाँ एक और चीज है, I'll tell you. Wi-Fi में ही there is something called WPS if you know.
या
So that WPS is much easier to bypass than dictionary attacks. You could brute force the WPS password. उसका भी एक टूल है काली में, something called Reaver. We'll talk about it मतलब आगे जाके जो भी हमारे.
But WPS, WP क्या है? Are these like protocols for connection?
No. WPS is like it's like a switch in a router. So जब भी वो बटन दबाते तो एक पिन जनरेट होता है.
I see.
WPS is used for your printers, क्योंकि printers पे तुम लोग पासवर्ड टाइप नहीं कर सकते ना, so it needs a way for authentication. So WPS बटन से generates a pin, फिर उससे वो तुम्हारा जो प्रिंटर है और बाकी के डिवाइसेस है जो वाईफाई से कनेक्ट करना चाहते हैं वो होता है।
पर WPS
क्या?
आजकल तो ऐसे रैंडम जनरेटर फंक्शन पे होता है ना?
WPS is not available for यार. ऐसा भी होता है कि WPS is available but it's disabled. मैं अपने राउटर पे कभी WPS चालू नहीं रखूंगा and I'll keep a very strong password. if I'm you.
Actually, if we get into someone's Wi-Fi, can we track all their data packets?
Of course, you can sniff their whatever they are browsing. जो कुछ भी links वो hit करते हैं, you can browse. You can even intercept them. You can even spoof their DNS
All
and
this is
redirect them
possible
to your
through what?
yeah.
All this is possible through what tools on Kali?
अगर DNS spoof करना है, you'll have to use BetterCap. If you use APT, you will get it. BetterCap करके एक नाम है. And if you want, मतलब उसमें तेरे को DNS spoof भी करना पड़ेगा, ARP spoof भी करना पड़ेगा, so that you can intercept their traffic. Then you will have to start your own web server, so that all the DNS requests come back to your web server, so you can steal their passwords or scare them, whatever. And shit, one sec.
So
And like
basically माने MOTM attacks हो गए क्या?
हाँ,
Yeah, man in the middle attack.
yeah, like I've used BetterCap.
Yes, we
वो
are
mostly
recording this session.
हाँ वो भेज देंगे हम लोग जल्द. Like mostly ये जो DNS spoof and like techniques है, it like works on only HTTP websites and like HTTPS with weaker SSL protocol. Like अभी जो TLS protocol है, that is दिखेगा, intercept कर पाओगे लेकिन gibberish दिखेगा. So वो थोड़ा limitation है. Because you know,
gibberish ऐसे इसलिए दिखे क्योंकि end to end encrypted है इसलिए.
Yes.
yes, that's why
You
the
can-
protocol was made.
You can strip the SSL, but then the websites will know that you're doing that and they'll just not load. ऐसा भी होता है. Sometimes you can even put a request for the HTTP. You can spoof the HTTPS website of some website and put HTTP when you are spoofing it. And then when they enter it, you will sniff again. तो सब plain text में दिखेगा. But वो भी आजकल इतना काम नहीं करता है. That is very old now.
Because browsers also don't allow such HTTP websites. मतलब like HTTPS available है तो it doesn't allow any HTTP version of it to run at all. तो browsers का भी limitation है.
Chrome पे थोड़ा plugins भी है ना ऐसा, like disconnect and HTTPS everywhere and uBlock वगैरह. Like I think those are useful tools for us, right? As in personal security के लिए.
क्या बोला प्रथमेश?
अरे this plugins रहता है ना Chrome पे थोड़ा like disconnect है, HTTPS everywhere, uBlock origin. This is as good as having an antivirus. Like ऐसा preliminary layer of
I use
protection
this
है.
Ghostify.
You could do
Ghostery, sorry. Is that good enough or something like that?
तो देख ना functionality देख उसका, उससे समझ जाएगा. Disconnect
हाँ
से
मतलब
tracker.
ad blocker, cookie disabler. like
हाँ
stuff
काफी
like
useful है. फिर.
अभी और वेबसाइट्स तो और भी स्मार्ट हो गए. अगर एड ब्लॉकर डिसेबल्ड है, they will say we are not going to load this website. Please disable
Oh.
ad.
तो हम लोग कहीं और चले जाएंगे फिर. लो अपना कंटेंट बैठ पे तुम लोग.
Yes.
Also,
But
is
then-
it possible to reverse engineer a ransomware to get the encryption key?
Definitely possible.
But like
Because
वो
most-
infected machine पे कर सकते हैं या फिर कोई और दूसरा ये लगेगा उसके लिए?
You'll have to quarantine the malware first in a virtual machine. You'll have to do static analysis.
नहीं I'm asking कि मेरा machine अगर infect हो चुका है ransomware से, तो
हाँ.
can I reverse engineer it on the machine itself to get the key?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could,
कर
because
सकते
वो
हैं.
जो key रहता है ना वो locally stored रहता है, like basic ransomware में तो, so you can easily find it locally and use that decryption key.
So
Because
basically
you know,
ransomware में बाकी utility computer गया नहीं, सिर्फ files चले गए, right?
depends on what the ransom, because ransomware is what, it's a program. अभी वो बोल रहा है कि वो ransomware है, लेकिन अभी तेरे को red screen दिखा, उस पे skull दिखा, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. वो तेरा डेटा भी छीन सकता है, फाइल भी एनक्रिप्ट कर सकता है. It could also have a worm in it. कुछ भी हो सकता है. So
If they
ऐसा
disable your keyboard and mouse from the kernel, गया फिर कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
Oh.
Is ad blocker safe to use?
I don't use ad blockers. I use Firefox, तो उसको मैं restrict करता हूँ मतलब. तो
Okay.
मैं बहुत पहले किया था, मुझे भी देखना
You
पड़ेगा.
use Firefox.
Yeah, I use
Even I use
Firefox.
Firefox, but I don't know where the setting
I
is.
have I
That's why I
have
use an
deleted
extension.
Google from Firefox. मैं अभी सिर्फ DuckDuck को use करता हूँ. I am tired of these tracking IPs. Google Analytics देखा होगा कभी? देखा है क्या कभी?
लोकेशन देख नहीं सकते कहाँ कहाँ गए थे.
हाँ श्रेयस, उसका नेटवर्किंग सिनेरियो भी बताना पड़ेगा.
हाँ वो NAT का ना.
Let's not jump to that yet. Because they have to be in a separate interface inside the host.
नहीं उतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है ना. ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज लाइक उसको जो एग्जिस्टिंग NAT है उससे कनेक्ट करना है ना.
नया बनाना पड़ता है.
नया बनाना पड़ता है.
Yeah.
लाइक पिवटिंग
It
के लिए नया बनाया
isolates.
था.
No, your host will be away from it. Use the existing one, you could still ping the host. That's not safe.
अच्छा हाँ वैसा भी था. अच्छा ओके समझा मेरे को.
ठीक है, जो 28 people है, किसी को डाउट है, किसी को कुछ पूछना है?
Hello.
बहुत नर्वस है हम लोग. या बोलो.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something. Okay, so let me tell you that I am completely blind. Okay, and I use a talking software in my phone. So, like, can you guys make a WhatsApp group, because that would be more handy for me to operate instead of a Discord. Like, it would be a little ambiguous to for me to operate it.
Okay, we understand. WhatsApp group भी बना देंगे, no problem.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, no issues. Like one.
Any more doubts
Anything
guys?
else?